Morning Year 2. This morning we have the maths lesson and we're going to look at addition and subtraction, which we've looked at a few times before. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to have a mixture of adding calculations and subtraction calculations. So you're going to need to look really carefully so that you don't get tricked out on what maths you have to use, okay? So let's have a look on here. I've got 36 at 42. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through our strategies with you just to help you and remind you what you can do to help you work out my challenges. So we've got 3 tens in 36 and we've got 6 ones. Okay, so I'm going to draw my jotting for that to help me. So 1, 2, 3 tens. And then I know that because I've got 3 sticks of 10, that 3 represents the number 10, 20, 30. And now I'm going to draw my 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've made my 36 and now I'm going to make 42. So remember that first digit always tells us how many tens are in the number. And then here I'm going to do ones, 2 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. So that represents 10, 20, 30, 40. And then I'm going to draw 2 ones. So we've now got 42. So what I can do with those jottings now is I can add those up together using my skills of counting in tens and ones. So I'm going to add up the tens first of all. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Then 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. So the answer is 78. Now, if you're really confident with your counting in tens from any number, there's a more efficient way of adding up the jottings that we've got on the board, and I would prefer it if you were able to do it like this. So we've got 36 here, so I'm not going to count any of that. I already know that there's 36, so I'm going to count on from that number. So I've got 36, 10 more than 36 is 46, 56, 66, 76, 77, 78. And that will also help you when using an empty number line if you're able to do it that way. So here, look, I'm going to draw an empty number line because this is the other way that we use to do our adding. Now what I'm going to do with this, chum, is I'm going to start at 42. And I hope that you can remember, why would I start at 42? It's more efficient, isn't it, to start with the biggest number in an adding, because we know with adding it can be done any way round, can't it? So we may as well make it easier for ourselves. So we're going to start with 42 on the number line, okay? And then we're going to add 36 to it. So we know that we've got to add 3 tens and we've got to add 6 ones. So I'm going to do those jumps on my number line. So that's 1 lot of 10, 2 lots of 10, 3 lots of 10. They're the tens that I'm going to add. So if I add a 10 to 42, what digit's going to change? The tens digit, which is the 4, or the ones digit, which is the 2? Well, we're adding a 10, aren't we? We're adding a group of 10, so we know that it is the 4 that's going to change. We're not going to have 4 tens, we're going to have 1 more 10, which is 5 tens. And that should mean that number 2, our digit 2, should stay the same because we're not adding any ones. Okay, so 10 more than 42 is 52. That's right, because we've added 1 more 10, but we've not done anything to the ones, and that gives us 52. Okay, so then we're going to add another 10. So again, our tens digit is going to change because we're adding a group of 10. But our ones digit is going to stay the same because we're still not adding any ones. So I wonder if anyone can tell me then, if we know that adding 1 more 10 is going to change the tens digit, what the number is going to be. So we've got 42, 52, and another 10 more, yes, you've got it, is going to be 62. And we've still got another 10 to add. So again, our tens digit is going to be the one that changes, and our 2 is going to stay the same because we're still not adding any ones. So if we've got 6 tens now and we're going to add 1 more 10, then that means we're going to have 7 tens. And so 10 more than 62 must be 72. Okay, now we've finished adding our tens. We've got to add 6 ones now, so I'm going to do that by doing some smaller jumps to show that it's a much smaller quantity that we're adding. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I always do, chums, I just write the ones number that I'm adding up here, because I think if we write lots of add 1, add 1, add 1, and then all of our answers here, then we can get in a real muddle with our calculating. So I think it's more efficient to do it this way. So what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to add my ones. So this time to 72, what digit is going to change? Well, this time it's going to be the 2, isn't it? Because we're not adding a group of 10, we're adding a group of ones. So I'm going to put the dot on this number this time, and the 7 is going to stay the same. So let's have a go. We're going to start here at 72, and one more is going to be 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. So the answer is 78. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just run through how we would do it with a subtraction sentence, and then I'm going to show you the different challenges that I've made for you today. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So if I put on 68, take away 35. Okay, so the first thing we would do is use our jottings, wouldn't we? So if I show you here that with 68, okay, the 6 in 68 represents the 10, so there are 6 tens. And then the 8 shows how many ones, and there are 8 ones in that number. So I'm going to represent now 68 with our jotting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens. Okay, and that represents the number 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, now I'm going to do our 8 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got our 8. Okay, now what's different this time is that when we're doing a subtraction calculation, we start with the bigger number and then we have to take some away. So the answer is always going to be less, isn't it? Whereas when we were doing the adding and we had to find out how many altogether, there was more. So this time I'm not going to draw 35 because I need to take that 35 away from what we've already got, don't I? I need to take it away from our 68. So I'm going to take away 3 tens and 5 ones, okay? So just put a cross through it, so 10, 20, 30. So I've taken away the 30 of the 35, okay? I've taken away 3 tens. So now I'm going to take away the 5 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then all we have to do next is count what we have left. So I have 3 tens left, which I know represents 30. So that's 30, 31, 32, 33. So the answer is 33. So now I'm going to do that on an empty number line. Now when we use an empty number line for subtraction, we always start in a different place, don't we? We always start at the end of the number line. And that is because when we're adding, we count forwards because the numbers are getting more and they're getting bigger. Whereas when we subtract, we're counting backwards. And so that we remember that, we always do our number line from the end and work backwards to show how the number is getting less. So I need to take away then 35, so I'm going to do my 3 jumps of 10. So 10, 20, 30. So again, just like we did before, we're going to look at what digit is going to change and which digit is going to stay the same, because that's going to help us to work it out. So if we're taking away a 10, that means that the tens digit is going to change, and we're not taking away any ones at the moment. So our 8 ones are going to stay the same. So 1 less than 6 tens is 5 tens. So 10 less than 68 is 58. And 10 less than 58 is going to be 48. And 10 less than 48 is going to be 38. And you can see, look, how we've gone from 6 tens to 5 tens to 4 tens to 3 tens, because we've only been taking away the tens, not the ones. Right, so now then I've got to take away the ones. So I've got 5 of those to take away. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take away 5, and now I'm going to count back in ones to help me. So 1 less than 38 is 37, 36, 35, 34, 33. And that's the answer, okay? So they're the 2 methods that I want you to have a go at using today. I would really like you, please, to use 2, because remember, Penny Prove It always says we need to choose different methods so that we can prove it to her, not just do it through once. That helps you to check over your work and just double check that you've got it right the first time. Right, so my challenges then today are this. Okay, so it's a bit like our chili challenges in the morning in our jotters. Okay, challenge 1 is the easiest challenge. Okay, so if you are not feeling too confident with it at the moment, you might want to start at challenge 1. And that's just adding and taking away ones. Okay, and then the next challenge, challenge 2, is adding and taking away tens. So it's a little bit harder, only a tiny bit. Okay, so that's challenge 2. And then challenge 3 is any 2-digit number. So what you might want to do is all 3. So you might want to start at challenge 1 and work your way up and have a go at doing all of them. Okay, or you might want to think, well, that one's a bit easy for me, so I'm going to start at challenge 2 and then keep going. It's up to you. But I want you to look really, really carefully at what symbol there is, because if you can see that they're a mixture of adds and taking away. So don't get tricked out. See if you can look really carefully at what that calculation is asking you to do. Now, if you manage to get through all 3 of my challenges, then I do have one more challenge that you can do. So I'm just going to turn the screen over to here, and you can see I've given you some missing number problems. So see if you can figure out the missing number problem to help you to complete those addition and subtraction facts. Okay? Right, so good luck, everybody. I'm sure that you'll do a brilliant job. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.